And move to agenda item 22, Commission Regulation 16-04, Dream Tag 2016 Seasons. Management Analyst 3 Maureen Hollinger for possible action. The Commission will consider the adoption of 2016 Dream Tag Seasons. Ms. Hollinger.
Thank you, Chairman Drew and Commissioners. Maureen Hollinger, Nevada Department of Wildlife, for the record. CR 1604 deals with our Dream Tags. NRS stipulates that the species and quota there, and our NRS stipulates the species and the quota, so therefore those items cannot be changed. The season recommendations being presented are the same as last year, which are the stratified hunt language where the hunter can be out in the field with the appropriate weapon for the appropriate season for those that the Commission sets in the general hunts. And then in regard to the California bighorn sheep, the department continues to recommend the closure of Unit 041, and that would be consistent with the heritage closure language also again, and due to the sportsman option on that.
Okay, and just to follow up, we don't need a companion on the desert bighorn because this is for 16 seasons, and at this point we don't have a season open. So, any questions or discussion? Yep, Commissioner Wallace.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is where I was wondering if this was a potential place that we could work on this turkey tag issue. Is there any way that in that season we could put it the earliest date established in regulation by the Board of Wildlife Commission for the 2018 wildlife turkey season? The only thing I could see that may do is we would not have any tags for the 2017 season. But at the same time, my committee seems to have a hard time distributing those tags. We don't always have a full request.
Mr. Chairman, I'm confused. Are we talking heritage tags again or Dream Tag?
Yeah, we're on Dream Tag now.
So this was for that one.
So yeah. You had it right the first time.
All right.
Either way, I don't think we could have changed it.
Okay.
So,
Sorry about that.
no, we're good. So we are on 1604, 2016 Dream Tag seasons. Yep, Commissioner Bliss.
Thanks, Chairman Drew. I'm a little bit concerned with setting these quotas at the right now because we don't know what the quotas are coming down the road because we haven't set them for the 2016 season. And the only concern I have is I've heard I've heard that we have a sheep are sick in the Montanas. And depending on how many sheep that affects may actually impact the amount of tags that are given. And the Dream Tag is set, we have to, up to, if once 50 tags is available, then we give a Dream Tag. Without knowing the impact and the quota of what that could be, I'm a little bit nervous about setting this, and I surely don't want the quota to come from the department that we have to have X amount of tags because we approved this particular season, and it mandates us to give one if the tag quota from the total tag quota for the department is going to be less than 50. Does it make sense, or am I off base?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and at this meeting, we aren't setting the quotas because obviously they're established by NRS 502-219. So what you're saying is in the scenario that we issue less than 50 California bighorn tags, how does that happen? Because we'd essentially be setting a season, and then the quota would move to zero. I don't have an answer on that. Maureen, is that a deal where it would be like a 1-year lag time because it's set in NRS, or how would that work? And maybe the better question is, do we anticipate dropping below 50 bighorn tags, California bighorn tags, even if 031 were to have worst case scenario 1 tag?
I guess my concern is I don't want other units to make up the the difference in the tag numbers to make sure we fulfill the commitment to this if we set the season.
Mr. Chairman, the way the NRS reads is that the quotas are for the dream tag hunt are based on the previous year. So these quotas come out of last year's, what we had for last year's quota. Going forward for the dream tag regulation, if it drops, then there's a concern, then California may in the future drop off depending on where our overall quota for California bighorn sheep lands.
So we are on 1 year lag because we had 50 last season.
Yes.
We're going to issue one tag. If it drops below 50 this season, then next year that hunt will drop off of the dream tag
Correct.
list. Does that make sense, Commissioner Bliss?
Yeah, as long as it lags back, it solves the problem. I just thought of that as I was looking at it.
Good question. Other questions or discussion? Okay, County Advisory Board input on CR 1604. This is the dream tag hunts. Public comment in Las Vegas. Public comment in Reno.
No public comment in Reno, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Seeing no public comment, we'll bring it back to the commission. If there's no further discussion, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve CR 16-04 2016 Dream Tag Hunts as proposed by the department.
I'll second.
We've got a motion by Commissioner McNinch, a second by Commissioner Valentine to approve CR 1604, the 2016 Dream Tag Hunts, as proposed by the department. Is there any question on the motion or further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 9-0. We'll close item 22 and move to item 23. Commission Regulation 1605, Partnership and Wildlife, 2016 Season and Quotas, Management Analyst 3, Maureen Hollinger. For possible action, the commission will consider the adoption of 2016 PIW hunt seasons, species, seasons, and quotas. Ms. Hollinger.
Thank you, Chairman Drew and Commission. Maureen Hellinger for Nevada Department of Wildlife for the record. CR 1605 is the Partnership and Wildlife Tag Regulation. Nevada Administrative Code stipulates that the quotas cannot exceed the following amounts. Mule deer, it's resident 22, non-resident is 3, and that's what the recommendation is for mule deer. Antelope, it's resident-only hunt, and it's for 5, which is the recommendation. Elk is resident only, which is 3, which is the recommendation. Mountain goat, we do not have a hunt being recommended. And then bighorn sheep tags, resident only is 4. There's no identifying number as to how many per species, but the department is recommending 1 for Nelson bighorn sheep and 1 for California bighorn sheep.
Questions?
One last item, Chairman Drew, I forgot to mention that the California bighorn sheep closure for 041 is for this hunt also, being recommended.
Thank you. Questions or discussion by the commission? Yep, Commissioner Young.
Maureen, is this the one that the department gets all the funds from? They get the funds from PIW?
This particular PIW tag is a process through the draw where an applicant can opt to participate, and then if they're unsuccessful in their main hunt, if they opted in,
So
they
there's
would
no
participate.
additional funding from this?
It's $10, and it goes to the Heritage Fund. Silver
It does go to
State
the
Heritage tags and PIW go to Heritage.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Additional questions or discussion? Seeing none, County Advisory Board input on item 23, PIW tags. Public comment in Las Vegas. Public comment in Reno on item 23.
No public comment in Reno, thank you.
Thank you. Bring it back to the commission. If there's no further discussion, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move to approve CR 1605, 2016 Partnership and Wildlife PIW hunts as presented.
Second.
I've got a motion by Commissioner Johnston and a second by Commissioner Young to approve CR 1605, the 2016 PIW hunts as presented. Mr. Morai, did you have a question or a comment?
We got a letter from NOGA pertaining to that. Would that be that we'd have to address that for next year, or does that pertain to this year's PIW deal?
I think Commissioner Johnston had mentioned yesterday in his committee report that that was something that you guys were going to look at, and it had to do with eligibility across the non-resident guided and the non-resident regular draw. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so it wouldn't be something to be addressed today.
No, not with respect to the PIW. The other PIW issue is the ordering of the draw.
Right. Okay, further questions or discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 9-0. We'll close item 23, go to item 24. Commission Regulation, 1606, Silver State Tag 2016 Seasons and Quotas, Management Analyst 3, Maureen Gollinger for possible action. The commission will consider the adoption of the 2016 Silver State Hunt Species, Seasons, and Quotas. Ms. Hollinger.
Thank you, Chairman Drew and Commission. Maureen Hollinger for Nevada Department of Wildlife. CR 1606 is in regards to our Silver State tags. This particular regulation, as you'll see in the write-up, the seasons are in italics to align that season with the 2016 heritage tags, which we changed to an August 1st to December 31st. When this hunt was established, it was the intent to have the seasons for these tags mirror the heritage tags. We also, since we are a year behind on this with our statutory requirement, we can't exceed what's in NRS as to the number of big game tags, which is 14. The recommended quota on this CR keeps us within that statutory requirement for the big game tags for heritage and Silver State. And then again, there is no California sheet to worry about as to a closed unit in this particular CR.
Questions or comments from the commission? Okay, seeing none, we'll take this out. County Advisory Board input on Silver State hunts. Mr. Shea, come on up.
I just want to make sure that 041 is excluded from that too. I didn't hear her say it. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, there's no California Silver State hunt proposed.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
So we're
Okay.
good.
Sorry about that.
Thank you, though, for keeping us on our toes. Additional County Advisory Board input? Public input in Las Vegas on Silver State hunts? Okay, how about in Reno, item 24 on Silver State hunts for 2016?
No public comment in Reno, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll bring it back to the commission. Is there any further discussion? Commissioner Bliss?
Yeah, what about adding unit 195 to the units? How would it match the heritage?
I think we're good because this is still for 16, correct? So we'd be looking
so
at,
we're okay there. All right, I just want to make sure we didn't.
yep, we're good. Other questions or comments? Commissioner Valentine?
Maureen, we have room for one more tag, and I was wondering if the commission would be acceptable to adding an elk tag to bring us up to 14.
Okay, I'll make a comment.
Commissioner Bliss, I figured you might have a comment.
I wouldn't oppose that, but trying to think with the hunt packages that go along with it are already set for one elk tag and not two. So I think if we're going to do that, you'd have to. I don't think with the packages and everything else the way it's set, we could actually make two tags work. But I like the way you think.
But that, has that information been published to this point? Could we make a point of, I mean, that's a pretty good consolation prize that you don't draw all the stuff that goes with it, but you still have a tag in your pocket.
That's Commissioner Drew or Chairman Drew.
working with system consultants and the changes we're making to the front page on the SAI website when you go under application. Because of the amount of changes we're making, we had to get Dawn information early. So they've really been pushing me to get that information, and Chad and I worked to get those packages put together. Aaron Meyer put together the package, and Dawn has it at this point. So it, you know, if you made that change, we probably could make a small change to it and say there's 2 of these packages, but then that would entail Mr. Bliss going back to all of his donors begging for more items, and some of them are already given $10,000 worth of prizes to that package, so kind of hard to go beg people that are already giving you that much.
I guess I'm not suggesting we go that route. I guess what I'm suggesting is, can we change the advertisement to say the first one drawn out of the pool will get the prize package, and the second one, too bad, you have a Silver State tag in your pocket, but you don't get anything else.
We could,
Obviously, the wording would be a little different.
we could put an asterisk and a footnote underneath it, yes.
Commissioner Bliss, you've done a lot of work on that. Is that something you'd be comfortable with, or?
I like the idea of it. The confusion of it makes me nervous. I don't want the guy that draws a second tag wondering where his package is and then have to explain to him that he actually didn't have one. I could defer that call to Deputy Director Rob to deal with, but if I would have anticipated this, I could have maybe reached out to get some more packages to make it cleaner. I think there's quite a bit of confusion in the public as it is between PIW, Dream Tag, and Silver State, that I'm a little bit reluctant to add any more confusion to it. But I'm open. Hey, whatever this board decides, I'm fine with, and we'll try to make it work. I'm just trying to think all the ramifications of doing it, so.
And maybe the question goes to operations and/or systems consultants. Is that even feasible to know which one is the first raffle or lotto ball out of the drum and which is the second?
For the record, Monty Martin, Systems Consultants. I always know who was the first to draw and who was the last one to draw a tag. As we release the results, you as a sportsman never know that, and I was just considering, how will you identify that to them? I can tell you the first one to draw the tag and the second one to draw a tag, no problem.
You have to take a lie detector test.
Yeah, that gives me what I think I need. I like the concept of doing that, but I'm a little uneasy given where we're at with everything else.
And Monty, that was very Don Sefton-like response. Very good job.
Sometimes I wish we knew. Maybe it's better I don't know. Additional questions or comments? Commissioner Bliss, any other thoughts? All right, if not, I'm willing to entertain a motion.
Chairman Drew, I'll make a motion that we approve CR 1606 Silver State Hunts as presented, and next year maybe we'll add a tag.
Okay, so I've got a motion by Commissioner Valentine, a second by Commissioner Morai to approve CR 1606 as presented by the department. Any further question on the motion or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 9-0. We'll close agenda item 24 and open agenda item 25. Commission Regulation 1607, 2016 Big Game Application Deadline Information Management Analyst 3, Maureen Hollinger for possible action. Commission will consider adopting language regarding the 2016 Big Game Tag Application Deadline Information. Ms. Hollinger.
Thank you, Chairman Drew and Commission. Maureen Hollinger, Nevada Department of Wildlife. CR 1607 deals with setting our application deadlines for the big game tag draw. second draw, and our guided draw. There are no recommended changes from the format from last year, and we continue to offer the option of mail-in applications and a deadline.
Questions for Maureen? Okay, seeing none, we'll open up any county advisory board input on item 25, big game application deadline information. Public comment in Las Vegas? Public comment in Reno on item 25?
No public comment in Reno, thank you.
Okay, hearing no comment, we'll bring it back to the commission. Is there any further discussion or questions? If not, I would entertain a motion. Commissioner Young?
I move to approve CR 16-07 Silver State Tag Draw and Big Game Tag Draw and remaining tag application deadline regulations and information as submitted by the department.
Second.
So I've got a motion by Commissioner Young, seconded by Commissioner Johnston to approve CR 1607, 2016 deadline regulations and information as presented by the department. Is there any question on the motion or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries 9-0. We'll close item 25 and open item 26, Commission Regulation 1608, 2016 Big Game Tag Application Eligibility. Management Analyst 3, Maureen Hollinger, for possible action. The Commission will consider adopting language regarding the 2016 Big Game Tag Application Eligibility.
Thank you, Chairman Drew and Commission. Maureen Hollinger from Nevada Department of Wildlife. CR 1608 addresses our application eligibility for the draw applications for big game. Briefly, the Silver State Tag application eligibility is stipulated in NAC, so there's no changes regarding that. Antelope, there's no change to the antelope eligibility. Applicants will have to choose from one category of antelope hunt, like the buck or the doe, and can only obtain one tag through the draw. Elk, again this year, the elk application eligibility will allow an applicant to apply for more than one antlerless elk tag, but can only obtain one antlerless elk tag. Spike hunts will be available again this year, and applicants in a waiting period for antlered bull would be eligible for spike elk. Applicants will be allowed to apply for antlerless elk and spike elk, but applicants will not be able to apply for both antlered elk and spike elk, so there's only one male hunt they'll have to choose. Applicants will only be able to obtain one antlered elk and one antlerless elk. Bighorn sheep, again this year, the sheep hunt eligibility, the sheep application eligibility for applying for ram ewe hunts is or. In other words, an applicant will have to choose between applying for a ram hunt or apply for a ewe hunt for the same species. The applicants will be able to apply for each subspecies of ewe if the hunt recommendations were approved, which they were last year. So mountain goat, there was no change. Black bear, there was no change on the eligibility for applications. Mule deer, there is no change to the application eligibility from last year. And there's still the exception that if you draw a tag in the main draw, you will be able to apply for that antlerless depredation hunt, 1101 hunt in the second draw, but you can't do it in the same draw period and obtain, 2 deer tags in that option. And then the eligibility in regards to other tags, heritage tags, antelope and deer landowner damage compensation tags, elk incentive tags, and antlerless elk landowner tags are tags that a person can obtain in addition to the draw tags.
Well done going through a lot of information. Questions or discussion at this point from the commission? Okay, seeing none, we'll bring it out. County Advisory Board input on item 26, big game tag application eligibility. Mr. Dixon.
For the record, Paul Dixon, Clark Cab. We had a discussion, and it tied back to ultimately when we go to do seasons in 17 setting for antlerless elk. There's a lot of discussion we had about shortening that season out of January. And one of the suggestions would be is that if you allowed a tag holder to have 2 antlerless tags, generally when you're in the field hunting, at least my experience has been when you harvest an animal on that hunt, you generally have the ability, before or after, sometime after that hunt while you're hunting with other people to harvest another one just because you're in the right place at the right time and you move off. In seasons, you don't always have that opportunity. So it would be something for this commission to consider if they're going to look at maintaining, trying to control the elk herds by giving antlerless elk tags. Maybe allowing a tag holder to have 2 antlerless elk tags might increase the harvest success of antlerless elk rather than extending the seasons when you stress the elk in January. Thank you.
Sean Shea, Washoe County. We had a little correspondence on this, and it was just, we just wanted to add for written with the clarification that remaining tags sold on a first come, first served basis will not lose their bonus points. If that makes any sense. We just wanted to make sure that was clarified.
Mr. Chairman, I can speak to that. We did get the programming in place, and we can certainly include that, since that is permanent regulation, in the application book. It doesn't have to be in the eligibility as to how they apply.
So it's just a matter of you guys printing it in the
Yes.
application book?
Yeah, it's our first opportunity to get it published out to the public with the application book is this year.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Additional county advisory board input on this one? Public comment in Las Vegas?
Sorry, I should have just stayed up here. For personal, Sean Shea, Washoe County. I don't know if this is where it comes back into eligibility for the bear. So for me, it just seems like if you've drawn a bear tag, you shouldn't be able to apply the following year for a bear tag. And there should be like a wait period for that, just because, I mean, you see there's 3,000 resident applicants going for this. And if someone draws it, they could sit there and draw it every year. So, I'd like to see a waiting period on it, at least to give opportunity to other people.
Is that a separate NAC as well?
Mr. Chairman, I believe it's already in permanent regulation, and it's 3 years.
For a successful applicant?
I believe it's for both.
But it's a separate NAC, it's not this.
It's permanent
commission
regulation.
Okay. Public comment, Las Vegas, item 25. Okay, public comment in Reno on item 26, big game tag application eligibility.
No public comment in Reno, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bring it back to the commission. Is there any further questions or discussion? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve CR 16-08, 2016 Nevada Department of Wildlife application eligibility. Big game application eligibility is proposed by the department.
Second.
So I've got a motion by Commissioner McNench, a second by Commissioner Wallace to approve CR 1608, 2016 Nevada Department of Wildlife application eligibility as presented by the department. Is there any question or discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Maureen. We'll close item 26.